So we're gonna try to knock this one out here pretty quick. As always, we're gonna bring you the news you can actually use. Nick here representing KVFX, and today we got a feature from my man DellaMottagm. Excuse my pronunciation, but he does great work. You guys feel free to look him up. So we're gonna do a top-down analysis, but it's gonna be a little bit more intricate, and you guys can kind of see how we're actually following the cycles. First up, he's showing education is the market moves in cycles. We have the business cycle, the economic cycle. It's gonna be influenced by different factors, but one stands out: the action from policy makers or fiscal policy. Now, here's a economic cycle example. You can see we have expansions, then we go into contraction. Currently, it looks like we may be in a contraction. We see peaks, and then we have troughs. Over time, the market is designed to go up, especially the stock market. So we see real GDP versus time. Now, we did just get some news that the USD GDP does seem to kind of be stable. Now, also in China, we see an increase in the GDP, but we know they actually fluffed their numbers. So we're going to time and tell and see if we are going to be declared in a recession. Now, the big drivers are going to be growth, inflation, and interest rates. Depending on what cycle we're in, how we're going to actually make those trades, or how we're going to actually facilitate trade based on policymakers and asset class returns. Now, the first thing we want to look at is where are we going to be in the next 6 to 12 months. I always tell my guys, where are we going? When we're trying to figure out the puzzle, we want to know where we're going to be going. That way we won't be a part of the herd and just follow, the sheep. So leading indicators are big. We use that in our group. We can actually spot changes in macro outlooks from that. Now, an example that he gives is ISM and PMIs. Shameless plug, we did a video on YouTube. You guys feel free to check it out. Look us up at King Visions Forex. We have a great walkthrough on PMIs and how they affect the stock market. Another one is the housing market, or the NAHB. We did drop a chart a couple of days ago comparing the housing market with unemployment rates. So that's going to be something that we need to know. He speaks about that as well. Policymakers like the Federal Reserve can influence indicators, and they react based on their mandate, two-part mandate, unemployment, and also, how did they put it, financial stability. Now, they actually tighten, lower growth, lower inflation. Let's go ahead and get through this. So in all this, consider in the context, for example, let's say we have a recession. In the case, bonds generally rally because of the bond market expects the central rates to ease to spur growth. But if you have a recession that's very high, with very high inflation like now, then you won't see bonds rally until the market is comfortable with the future inflation outlook. So the Fed even said they're higher for longer. So sounds like we're kind of talking Greek to you guys. Feel free to check us out. We do have our public group, and where the magic happens is in our private group. You guys feel free to get some information about that. But you see, we're kind of following China's GDP. There's the GDP word again, and kind of gives us an understanding of how we want to facilitate trade. So we're keeping an eye on what the big wigs are doing. Those are the guys that are going to be creating the charts that we watch when we're trying to time the market through technical analysis. So I want to kind of keep this short and sweet so I don't have to chop up the video too much. Look, there's COT. So we see what the big guys doing, institution, banks, but they're still going to be the smaller players. We're looking at the central banks, the guys that control the world. So if you caught any value from this, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, share, reach out to us, man. We'll definitely like to get you in the wave. And again, shout out to my guy, DellaMottagm is what I'm going to say. DellaMottagm, great walkthrough. And he preaches the same things we do. So you guys take care, trade light, trade right. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.